All right. And we are live. So excited to have the amazing Susan Shloss here, who I'm not sure how we exactly came into each other's orbit, but I'm so glad that we did. I am Brenda Williams. I'm a visionary empath biz coach, and I work with female identified leaders to align with their empathic gifts so that they can create cultural and social shifts in the world. And so our guest here today is definitely a culture shifter. Susan Sloss is a certified money coach, and she has facilitated breakthrough sessions for her clients, combining both practical financial expertise and intuitive inspiration. And she has worked for over 20 years in the financial service industries with companies such as Charles Schwab, and has built a six-figure bookkeeping business. And now she is going even deeper into her heart and her soul with her most recent incarnation around social justice and spirituality. She has a 5-day symposium that is happening next week. And I am one of many speakers, but there's something that unites us all, and that is the call that is upon us all right now to focus all of our efforts as much as we can and our resources on the inequities that are facing us right now, and blending practical spirituality, intuition, and her money wisdom. She's convened some of the most, I would say, luminaries in the spaces of coaching and personal development. So without further ado, Susan, welcome.
Brenda, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you for creating this space for us to talk about this upcoming event and just let people know that it's happening.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for really championing, this calling that you have. And so this symposium is near and dear to my heart, particularly because of the subject matter. But if you could share with us some of the inspiration behind wanting to do a symposium blending spirituality and economics together.
I have been on a path for a couple of years of social justice, and I know many people have been on that path for much, much longer. And like so many, I really woke up when George Floyd was murdered, and the question of how do we sustain that engagement in the conversation and in our actions has been up for me probably for the last 6 months. But this symposium called to me last year, and it was this inner directive. I work from that basis of listening to my guidance, and it was, you're going to do a summit. So that name, Money, Spirituality, and Justice, because I'm in the money field and I have a very spiritual orientation to that, and bringing that justice piece, and that name just popped. And whenever I've shared it with people, it's like, wow, 3 really potent arenas for all of us to grow in, and providing a space to amplify voices of women of color and people of color is just really fulfilling for me.
And so needed on the planet right now. And of course, um, your contribution and all of our contributions are needed. Who are some of the participants, and what are some of the areas? Because money and justice and spirituality are very visceral. Like you can feel it, the energetics of that in your body. And so, who were some of the leaders that you summoned to join you in this conversation and journey?
Well, gratefully, you are such an amazing contributor to this project. And I have Terralyn Avery Curry, Reverend Dr. Terralyn Avery Curry. She's a leader in anti-racism and breaking through. She teaches classes around that, and she brings a very strong spiritual component. I've got Yukiko Amaya, who brings a goddess perspective to the conversation, and she's a great thinker. I loved our conversation. These are all recorded ahead of time. And then we have Marita Estava, who brings Indigenous culture forward, and she'll be guiding us in bringing in the 4 directions and land acknowledgement in our opening ceremony.
So, so powerful. And I know I'm sure many more that you could name. And I just want to also bring forward for those of us who are listening, who may feel a bit maybe overwhelmed or maybe taxed from these conversations, because obviously, like you named at the forefront, George Floyd was a lightning rod moment for you, and I'm sure for many people to get more involved. But the work can be very labor intensive and requires a lot of energy. So to those who are listening that may have be feeling maybe some of the fatigue from the work, what would you like to say to them to bring them into this conversation?
One thing that I've done in this program is to bring in some embodiment elements, because I think it's really important as we're talking about these topics that we are synthesizing on all levels. And the spiritual piece really helps with that, but the embodiment piece is super important. So during the opening ceremony, we have some meditations, we have a movement piece, we have music. We're providing a playlist. That was your suggestion. So we're sending out a playlist for people to really bring that creative piece into it. And we'll have 3 experiential offerings from 3 of the speakers during the week. And this is meant to be very inspiring and uplifting. And I would say that every one of our contributors knows that we need deep self-care on this journey. And it's true both around prosperity and social justice, that it has to come from a foundation of being resourced. So there definitely is that strong message coming through, and self-love is really powerful. Venus Evans-Williams, Dr. Venus Evans-Williams, brings a super powerful message forward for Black women in particular.
Yeah. And I love that you named the somatics aspect of this work, because yes, it is much spiritual, mind, and body. And I love that you also named um, Black women and people of color, obviously, who have been at the margins, the furthest part, or the furthest away from the power, and how to engage in the work, particularly in a body that has been marginalized, um, very much so in the current scape and the past that past scapes as well. So, Susan, if you could tell us, when can we expect to step into the container that you've built?
We begin on Monday, March 7th at 10 o'clock with the opening ceremony. You'll start getting videos at 6 a.m. Pacific time. This is all Pacific time on Monday, and we'll have 3 or 4 videos released each day. You'll have the opportunity to watch those for the week. And then if you want to own the videos, you can have lifetime access. You have that opportunity to purchase at a discounted rate for the week as well. Kick off on Monday.
Kick off on Monday. So if you want lifetime access to these recordings and you may not have the space to join live, you will have lifetime access to these recordings so that you can have it in your library and in your resource box, so that you can continuously, because no matter how many times you maybe read something or engage in a work, there's always something new to learn. There's always another revelation to the work. And so, Susan, I'm so glad that you took some time out to join us today. For those of you in my community, you can check out the link in the summary section here on YouTube. And if you're not in our community, newsletter community, please go to BrehendaWilliams.com, the home page. You can click the free gift option. And so there's a free gift to you and also an invitation to join the community so that you can continue to learn more about this offering and others. And as we close out, Susan, speaking of free gifts, your amazing speakers are offering gifts as well. So if you can maybe share a few of the gifts that will be provided to those who participate.
We have everything from a free month of embodiment practices membership to a download of practices for your anti-racism and how to sustain that. And will you share what your free gift is, Brenda?
Absolutely. So those who are going to participate in this experience will receive a toolkit so that you can better understand your empathic gifts. There are 17 types of empath. And so as you move through each one, you can be more than one type. But then also, how do you use these gifts out in the world? And how do you support yourself through empathic overwhelm? There are tools for that inside the free gift. So super excited to be offering that and also to be a part of this much needed vigilant conversation. So, Susan, thank you so much for the invitation. And thank you so much for joining me today. And again, for our darling listeners, please not only sign up, but movements require bodies. So please share this with your community as well. We know that where two or more gathered, there it is. The spirit is there when two or more are gathered. And we want to have more than two. We want to have as many souls amplified and undergirded in this work. So please, I encourage you to invite others to join this work with you. And then to also make sure that you purchase, because part of the way we change narrative and change social constructs is when we see women supporting other women and those who are female identified. Wherever you fall along the gender spectrum, there'll be something for you in this symposium. And if we want to see again a shift in the world, it really starts where we consciously invest our dollars. So, Susan, again, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Brenda.
Yeah, yeah. And we look forward to seeing all of you on Monday, March 7th, where we start this, or continue the work, but start this journey in particular around money, spirituality, and justice. So let's get rooted, people, and I'll see you on the other side. Thank you so much again, Susan, for joining us.
Beautiful.